If you're not making life your beach, then what's the point? How is everyone doing today as we are now live? It feels like it's been a while. A lot of things have changed around here. I was really hoping that we'd have some awesome WWE news to talk about, but apparently nothing happened this week, so I don't know exactly how we're going to fill the show up. I mean, nothing interesting happened in wrestling, so it's going to be really hard to find a subject to talk about. How is everyone doing today? If this is your first time on the channel, if you're watching it live, hey everybody, I see it. We got channel members. Mike in here. Welcome to the show. Fire Spark holding down the chat. How are you doing today? If you are watching this on replay, you have a very important job. Go down to the comments below and write your question in that you want on next week's show, and we will make sure we answer it. If you're in the chat today, of course, put a question mark so I don't miss your questions, and I'll make sure and we get all of those answered for you. Help me out a lot. Some fun things happening here in the Beach Bite front. We have a new Discord channel. I finally jumped in, took the plunge. We made a Discord channel. The link is the pinned comment. It will be in the comment section. It is on the chat bar right now. So if you do use Discord, if that's something you're into, then feel free to go ahead and join in on that. Still learning it. I think it'll be fun as we get more people in there, and there's stuff to do in there. I wanted to make it a place so everyone can hang out. So if Discord's your thing, we got a place for you. If you're not into Discord, that's cool too. I'd like to thank everyone for joining me today. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. First thing, let's talk about me for a minute. So it's been an interesting week. So we were able to change some stuff, and we got a new setup here at BeachBytes, and I'm still tweaking it. So let me know what you guys think about it. But we got a couple camera angles going on. Look at this being all professional. I'm really excited about it. Of course, you're not all here to talk to me about my cameras. You're all here to hear the WWE 2K24 news, and I got some stuff that I would love to get off my chest and talk about. And of course, we'll start things off with talking about, like I said, nothing big happened in the WWE this week. I couldn't think of anything that happened. Could you guys? Anything? Let's see, Mike, what we got for me today? What is your thoughts on AJ Lee coming back? Why would AJ come back? Did something happen? Okay, I was trying to keep the joke as long as I could. I don't care anymore. So yeah, CM Punk did make his return to WWE after 10 long years. And in my book, he hasn't wrestled in 10 years. So I'm glad that he's finally going to step back in the ring for the first time in 10 years, according to WWE, and that's the only thing that it should be according to, and that's my thought on it. So what do I think about AJ Lee coming back? I think it is a matter of time before he makes his return, or she makes her return to the ring. I think that I wouldn't be shocked if everything's come together so fast, if she's a surprise in the Rumble, at least, to do something like that, because the fans will go crazy. I think she's the most anticipated person to be back in the women's division. I could see her either going on another run if she wanted to. She perfectly could do that, or she could do the whole Michelle McCool thing, where it's just like, oh, I didn't know I was in the Rumble, and show up in the Rumble every year, and that's her spot. And it just depends on where AJ's mind's at. I see a lot of clips floating around of AJ lately doing interviews and stuff, but all those interviews were from before Punk returned. They're being repackaged to show that, oh, this is our thoughts now that he's back in WWE, but it's really not. It's actually just the old clips from when he returned in 21, and they are reproducing them. So none of that is actually new news. If you haven't seen them, they're great little 30-second sound bites, but they're not her current feelings on him coming back. He did state on Monday Night Raw that she said hi to everybody, so I don't think that he would talk about her if there wasn't something in the works to come on later down the line. But so I think she does make her way back eventually, if not a Rumble spot, a run. I mean, she is the longest reigning Divas champion for a long time, and so the history's there. She'd at least come back to go into the Hall of Fame, I would think. You know, now that Punk's back, definitely Hall of Fame on the table. We also, the biggest news though coming out of Survivor Series is we got R-Truth back. That's right, R-Truth made his return, and that ties into some 24 news that we'll get to in a moment because of the funny timing of R-Truth coming back and Kofi coming back and Big E doing commercials. It was all for a reason, and I think it's going to be really interesting down the line to see exactly where all of this goes. What do you guys think? We got Kofi back. We need Big E. Big E, I hope, comes back. The Viper is jacked. I don't know what his new diet is, but he's like a python now. So I don't know if he changes his name because he's jacked. And it's scary that he can come back in better shape than he was when he left. So I'm really interested to see just get him back in the ring. He did great with Dawn Monday night. I can't wait to see what he does next. I'm really excited. So glad he's back. All these returns happened at Survivor Series, and I thought it was absolutely fantastic to see. I can't wait to see what's coming up for the Rumble next. We got a 2-month build now for the Rumble. Now, it sounds like a long time in our time. In our time, it is a 2-month build, but if you think about it in WWE's time, that it's actually only 9 shows. So when you look at it like that, is they have a lot of building to do to get us ready for the Rumble, and with the way Triple H books, he can turn it on its head in 1 episode of Raw. So I'm really excited to see where Orton goes, what's going on with Cody, what's Punk's first feud gonna be. Like everything says that it's going to be Seth Rollins, but Drew's in line first. So I could see Punk making his return, his first match at the Rumble, which is interesting because the Rumble is where Punk retired. So to make his debut back with WWE 10 years to the day that he walked out on WWE, I think will make a great storyline. So I could really see Punk returning there at the Rumble to give us the match. I don't think he'll be number 30. He was the number 1 entrant in the 14 Rumble, and so I could see him being in the top 5 to get all of his ring work in and going on a run. That's my prediction for the Rumble, is that he'll be one of the top 5 entrants. They won't hold him till number 30 like they've done with Cody. I think he will come in a lot sooner. What do you guys think about that? Do you think there'll be a match between Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre down the line, or Randy Orton versus Jey Uso? I think they hold off on Jey Uso. I think it's more fun to build the backstage stuff than it is to go straight into what's going on. You know, if he immediately attacks him, then you know that's where it's going. And remember this, today's Thursday, so he did show up on Raw. I wouldn't be surprised if he shows up on SmackDown to take out Jimmy. And as soon as Roman comes back, he had, that bloodline story, I think, is now Orton is the forefront. With Drew going after Seth for the title, I think Randy slides in for this month at least to go ahead and go after the bloodline. It would make more sense to me if he flew in, because everyone wants Punk to show up and do something. It's like the roster's stacked now, and there's several options you can go with them. You can have Punk go after the bloodline or Seth. You could have Roman go after the bloodline or Seth. I think that it's really interesting because I don't see a wrong answer there, because all of those storylines intrigue me. There's not one on the card that I'm like, no, that sounds horrible. So I think he goes after Jimmy first. I think we tease Jay, and then maybe in the Rumble match, or depending on what happens, he eventually does go after Jay, because all is forgiven right now. So it will be interesting to see how long that lasts, because if the Legend Killer stays true to his character, he forgives, he never forgets. So it will be really interesting. He'll pick his spot, and it will be absolutely awesome to watch. And I'm excited to see what Randy Orton does. How are you doing today? Afternoon? Is it afternoon where you're at? It's afternoon where I'm at. Let's see. So, well, I forgot we have Elimination Chamber coming up too. So Elimination Chamber is after the Rumble. So I think all the build will be for the Rumble, and then the Elimination Chamber build will happen during the Rumble, because it's the last stop before WrestleMania, but they're also building it up because it's Australia. So I think we'll get some different stuff than we normally get in previous years for the go home pay-per-view for WrestleMania this year. But I could be wrong. We'll find out. Only time will tell. But Punk did make his return, and I have a couple things I'd like to say about that. And I've seen everyone giving their opinions on Punk, and it's like, I got like 2 minutes of opinion on Punk, and I would like to share them with you. And because the new set is building up, check this out. We have a new in-depth black and white camera. I was trying to play with things, and I thought, hey, this one actually looks kind of cool. What do you guys think? Do you like the black and white? Is it a little weird? But I figured we'd do this for my thoughts on Punk. I am completely happy that CM Punk is back. I am a huge CM Punk fan. I have missed him, and it wasn't until I saw the nuclear pop that he got at Survivor Series. Of course, it's in Chicago. People will dismiss it. But the fact that everybody was so craving CM Punk to come back and the music actually hit, that building exploded. So my thoughts are, is I have no ill feelings towards Punk coming back. I thought his promo on Raw was picture perfect for the storyline setting up, because we're getting the classic CM Punk, not a watered down version of him. As I'm seeing, if you think that Punk was watered down, then you didn't watch the original run of CM Punk, and you're going off what the dirt sheets that aren't true at all, and what the wrestling Twitter says, which is scary. It's a scary place, and I try to stay away from it because, I mean, it's scary. But I'm very excited that Punk is here. I cannot wait to see what he does. The storylines that can come out of it. Will he go after the Bloodline? Will he go after Seth Rollins? When does him and the Wise Man hook back up? That's the interaction that I am waiting for the most, is when him and Heyman are face to face. That's what I've been waiting 10 years for. What's going to happen? And there's so many different ways that you can go with it that I think it will be absolutely awesome. So Punk being back in WWE is what's best for business, and it is really good. And so that's my thoughts on Punk. Let me know what you guys think about it. And let me know what you think about the black and white camera. Can we do more with it? Can we do some fun stuff with it? Like, I think we can. I think we can really do some fun stuff with it. I'd like to change the way things are looking to make it more interesting for you. I love that you guys are interacting and I get to answer your questions. But I don't want to be boring as I'm sitting back in a chair, but we're just hanging out. So at least give you a little something to look at while we're doing it. Randy versus Roman at 40. They could do that. And we still have, The Rock's still a thing that might be out there. Everyone wants Cody to finish the story. I think Cody's telling his own story right now, and I think that just like the Bloodline, we're in the 4th inning. I think we're in probably the 2nd or 3rd inning of Cody's story. So I wouldn't be upset if we get Randy versus Roman, because Randy's revenge is more interesting to me than Cody finally winning the title, because everything has evolved and changed as we've gone on. And the one thing that I want is Roman for the last couple months is talking about there's no one left to challenge him, that he's the best in the world. Well, now we have the real best in the world back. So my crazy prediction is that Punk is the one that beats Roman for the belt. And if Punk doesn't win, then we're going to Hulk Hogan's record. because that's the way they see it. If Punk isn't the one, if he's not the chosen one to beat Roman Reigns, then I think that he will go ahead and continue to carry this next full year upcoming to go ahead and beat Hogan's record. What do you guys think about that idea? Let's see. You like the black and white camera. Okay, so we might keep it. I mean, it's kind of cool. Like, look, it's like black and white. It's like old school, like you're watching, you know, Saturday morning cartoons in 1974. Like, it's kind of neat. I think we can do some things with it. So, Randy Orton is huge. I agree with you. I don't understand how he got so big. But so, yeah, that's the new black and white camera. I want to do some fun things with it. I think it's interesting. But so CM Punk, of course, is back on all of our television sets, and I am very excited about it. But what does that mean for WWE 2K24? There's a lot of rumors and innuendos going out there. And unlike some of the other people that I listen to, is I'm not beholden to embargoes, because I don't think 2K likes me too much. Because if you have been around my channel for a while, the whole thing is I fix the things that 2K can't fix, and that makes them not very happy with me, which I don't understand why. So I'm the heel in the 2K story. So let's continue that trend, and maybe one day they'll turn on, you know, they'll turn and be like, you know what, maybe he knows what he's talking about, or not. We'll figure it out as we go. But so the 2K thing of, oh, will Punk be in the game? Will Punk be DLC? Will Punk be this? It's too late. It's not too late. It's not too late. That's not a prediction. That's a spoiler. It's not too late to put CM Punk in this game, because they're still making the game. So I see a lot of predictions, and I like them, and they're fun, and they're a good time to watch. It makes my brain think, makes my hat hurt sometimes when I hear some of the people say stuff, and it's like, okay, here's realistically what happened, and we're going to use allegedly. So allegedly, 2K was at Survivor Series doing scans. Allegedly, they were there to go ahead and finish stuff up. From years past, we know that they finished scanning at the Rumble for the DLC. The Bray Wyatt we got last year, he just made it in because he was at the Rumble and they needed all of his debut stuff. Now, they used all of his stuff from his return at Survivor Series. That's fact. The model, everything. However, all of the in-game mechanics, from his moveset to his relationship with Uncle Howdy, to all of that, was added at the Rumble. So they used the model and then used the information from the Rumble. That will happen again this year, because that has always happened in 2K games. Like, everyone says there's no guaranteed lock-in date. They like to keep that to themselves. I've been playing WWE games since the beginning. I own them all. I played them all. I beat them all. I've broken them all. I know how these things work. And I don't mean that to sound cocky, but I have to tell you that so when you hear what I say, it holds more weight, if that makes sense. So the fact is allegedly they were doing scans at the game, or at Survivor Series, and allegedly they'll be at the Rumble to finish up DLC. That's absolutely awesome, allegedly. So what does that mean for CM Punk? CM Punk is such a big break in the WWE that it changes direction, because now that they have Punk, that is stop the presses on everything you were doing to make sure that he's in the game, because he's that big of a name. It's whether you love him or hate him, he's pulverizing. And I mean, the guy got 74 million views on a return pop. You think 2K is not sitting there going, oh, hold on. If we go all the way back in time, they stopped the presses on the game when he changed from the Fire Burns, which is still a great entrance theme, to Cult of Personality. They stopped the game there to make sure that they got that in the game that year. Now, technology has changed, but technology is faster. So for them to add new music into the game is so much easier now than it was 10 years ago. For them to change a model is a lot easier, but they still use the old ways of doing it. All the Punk stuff, Punk's last game was 2K15 that he got paid handsomely for, because of they were going to yank him like they did Bray Wyatt in 21 or no 22. Yeah, it's a lot of games. So they were going to yank him, and Punk reached a settlement with THQ to make sure that he wasn't yanked from the game. So he still got paid for that. You fast forward to 2K24, and they're going to do everything they can to get Punk in this game. So what are my thoughts on it? Is he going to be last minute DLC like Bray? Absolutely not. Are they going to charge us for CM Punk stuff? I think absolutely, because if you'll remember, if you played the older games, they did DLC for CM Punk's ice cream bar t-shirt. That was a pre-order bonus one year, was a t-shirt. So now in the world of my faction that we have, I guarantee you they're going to release some kind of Punk pack along the way that, oh, this adds, Punk 09 or, Mask Punk or something. All that's going to come to my faction. So he's the best in the world. He's pulverizing. So I think this is my wild prediction based on everything I've seen from every other WWE game, and it's based on a little bit of fact of everything they've done prior Survivor Series. So my complete thought is that they are going to go ahead and put him in the game, and he will be on disc, because there's enough time to throw him on disc. They can add DLC later, but they want the selling point, and I wouldn't be shocked if he's the cover star, because CM Punk as the cover star will automatically sell more copies to the average gamer. If you're walking into Walmart, or you're shopping on Amazon, or you're still a hardcore gamer that goes to GameStop or your mom and pop game shops, wherever you get your games, if you see a kiosk or a cover there and it's CM Punk on the cover of it, you are picking it up, because you know who CM Punk is. That's why we've had Cena or Rey Mysterio. They're universally known. We had the AJ was on the cover of 19, but it was not the highest selling game. Seth Rollins was on the cover of 18. Now, these games are good to us hardcore gamers, but they did not sell well in the stores. Brock Lesnar sells games. Stone Cold Steve Austin sells games. Rey Mysterio, John Cena, they sell games because you know those people all the way around. So whoever was going to be the cover star, I've heard a lot of people, and I was like, oh, well, Cody has to be on the cover. No, that's what the fans want. What does marketing want? Marketing absolutely will ditch anything for CM Punk to be on the cover of the game. And that is what I think is the crazy thing, is that the way video games work is it's what sells most. Call of Duty right now is selling Modern Warfare 2 DLC at what, 120 something dollars. It's DLC for a game, but they put Modern Warfare 3 on the cover so that everyone jumps and buy it. Now, Call of Duty's in its own special little catalog here, is that people just buy it yearly regardless. If the game's hot garbage or if the game's awesome, they will go ahead and buy it. That's fine. But they still have strategic marketing. They had plenty of time to look into, hey, this is not what the fans want. They didn't care. This is stuff that we're putting back in the game that we're selling to you, and they did not care. So there are all kinds of reasons why marketing always trumps what's going on, what the gamers think. It's a sad reality that I don't like, but I understand it from the business point of view. So my prediction, based on everything, is that CM Punk is going to be on the cover of 2K24 in some form or fashion. Now, I know the comment section will blow up depending on what side of Punk you're on or what I'm talking about. And that's fine. Tell me what you guys think about CM Punk being on the cover. Because if he's not a special edition, and if he's not just on the cover of the base game, then I don't know what 2K's doing anymore. And I've also not known what 2K's doing for a while when they added my faction, but it works. And John Cena's the #1 selling copy, right now. And then their special edition, they put Bad Bunny on, who is critically acclaimed, and everyone knows who Bad Bunny is. So they know what they're doing marketing wise. So the tagline for this is CM Punk is back. They have plenty of time to move over. It's a cover. Will it change the core gameplay? No, I'm not saying that. They're not overhauling the game itself, but they are going to overhaul the presentation of it. That just like in 23, we have the Trons in the back, and most of the time I always start with like Rhea Ripley for whatever reason. Who do you guys start with when you load up 2K23 and you get your loading screen, and you're going into your matches? Who's the first Tron that comes up? Because I always get like Rhea Ripley and Riddle for some reason. Is that a console thing, or is that what it's set at? I'm just curious. So let me know what you guys get for your starting load screen. Have you ever paid attention to it? Because it took me a while. Now I realized I always get Rhea to start. So I find that weird. But I think that we will get CM Punk to start the game if they continue with the Trons of the menu screen that they put in. So that's my thoughts on it. What are your thoughts? I think Punk is absolutely the cover. I don't think there's any way that you don't have him on disc, because that will sell games. DLC does not sell games. 23 sold well because John Cena was on the cover, not because Bray Wyatt was DLC. Bray Wyatt's what the fans wanted, not what the marketing wanted. Everyone bought 23 for John Cena. As weird as that sounds, as hardcore wrestling fans, if you're in here listening to this, you hear my voice, you are a hardcore wrestling fan, because we're talking about wrestling. But they paid for John Cena, your casual guy that gets off work, that's like, I need a new grappling game to play. Oh, look, it's John Cena or it's Stone Cold. That's what sells the copies of the game. Not, Bray Wyatt's going to be DLC 6 months from now. So CM Punk will 100% be on disc on the roster. And I keep hearing that, there's no way. Yeah, there's a way. There's definitely a way. There's always a way, because we are in an era where everything is pre-made months before you see it. But that's my thoughts on CM Punk. What do you guys think about it? Let me know in the comments below. And in the chat, what do we have going on? What did I miss? Let's see. I got to go back up. Punk is a big deal. I agree. I love Punk. Let's see. I lost my voice when Punk came back. I knew it was all CM Punk. Well, he's the voice of the voiceless, so I mean, you should get your voice back, right? Oh, what if I use the black and white cam to read chat? What we could do that, because then it's actually the camera's right where chat is. Let's break the fourth wall for a minute. So this camera is right where my chat's at. So hi, and I can read. That's cool. So let's see. We'll use that. Totally agree. He might be the cover guy again, and showcase. Now, I think showcase mode is already locked in. I think whatever they have for showcase mode is set, and it's been set probably since August, because the thing is they're gonna stop working on this game in January. They're gonna put the finishing touches on it, but everything that's in it is gonna be in it by January. But how do you know that, Beach? I'll tell you exactly how I know that. If you load in a new universe mode in WWE 2K24 and you go to it and you're, brand new, fresh start, it doesn't matter. You start it now and you go to title history and you click on Roman Reigns. His title reign stopped at 699 days. Now, the game came out way after. The Usos record for tag team titles stopped, and I don't have the number. I went blank. but it stopped 3 months back. It's all the title history stopped at the Rumble, just a little bit before it. If you go back to WWE 2K24 and you look up the title history, now you're going to need math, or unless you're a historian and know it to the day. If you go back and look at the title history of the current wrestlers that are in the game, now for each year that's come out, they'll be the current. So let's say Logan Paul is still United States champion by the time the game releases, then he'll still have the US belt. But that title history will cut off. It's cut off in 22, it cut off in 23, and it cut off in 20, even though no one played that game. So it's very interesting to me that the title history always cuts off in January. So that's when they actually stop working on putting the finishing touches on things. So they can say all day long that that's not how they do it. And I take other people's opinions too. If they're like, oh, I know a guy who worked for a guy who heard a guy who knew a guy who saw a guy. Sure. Okay. Well, maybe they don't. But the facts tell me, and the game data tells me, the game we've been getting for 20 something years is that the cutoff is the Rumble time. So, and if you'll look back at the history of 2K games, even back when THQ did it, is that the Rumble was always the cutoff, because your DLC packs have always been after the Rumble. And remember that back in the day, they came out in November. So prior to them taking over, it was the cutoff the year before, because we've always been a year behind. If you load up 2K23 now, you're still getting their default attires and everything are from Survivor Series last year, not this year. Like, and imagine that the Usos won't have a tag entrance in this year, and by the time the game comes out, they probably made up before WrestleMania and have something going on, and we're gonna have to put the Usos back together. I always find it weird. It's like the Jeff Hardy paradox, I always call it, and I've seen it for years. For every year that Jeff Hardy was in the game, if he didn't have his face paint, you would work so hard, the creators would, to put face paint on him. And then years he was in the game that he did have face paint, you would work so hard to take the face paint off of him. So I find it's always going that way. So let me know what you guys think. Sorry about your look. Yeah, those three letters are meaning less and less. And that's sad, because I was one that was all for it when it came out. And now when I see it, it's just a sad reminder of what could have been. I think that there was so much more that they could have done, and they started off on the right track. But then I feel like it was, you have the Cody era, and then after Cody left, and then I don't care anymore. And it's not necessarily because Cody left, it's just the timing of it. It's like after Cody left, it feels like it all fell apart. Or was it ever there to begin with, and we were just all snowed as wrestling fans? What do you guys think about it? Shawn Michaels and Triple H should be a showcase. Could you imagine if we got the DX showcase? Well, we did get, what, we got Shawn and Triple H in 15, wasn't it? Or you played part of it as Triple H, part of it as Shawn, or their rivalry against each other. I would love to see all of DX in the game. I wish that Billy would come home next. He's my outshot that I want, because I want all 5 members of DX in the game. It has been since 2014 was the last year. I think I'm wrong, actually, but yeah, it's been a long time since we've had all 5 at once. They always split it up, where like we'll get Billy Gunn and Road Dogg, but we won't get X-Pac, or we'll get X-Pac. Like what 22 is, we got Road Dogg and X-Pac, but no Billy Gunn. Or now, you know, it's crazy. We never get them all at one time. It's like we never get all of the NWO until 22. It was like, oh, all the NWO's back, and now we have that. Let's see. You get Seth Rollins as your loading screen in 23? Is that, you went and checked? That's awesome. Let's see. Jade versus Rhea. I don't know. I like that. I think that needs a longer build up. I think that we need to go ahead and have a little bit more time to get Jade over. I don't think she should go right into WrestleMania and fight Rhea. I would like to see her earn it. I would like to see, 41, all for it. But give me a year of Jade WWE matches, because if, Punk's coming back for the first time in 10 years, then that tells me that Jade is a rookie. And so let her have a rookie year that we can celebrate and then go into a WrestleMania program. If you put her right at the top, right off the gate, just my thoughts is if you bring her in and she's automatically right on top, that it's not going to mean as much if she has to come in and fight for it like some of the others have. Remember, Becky wasn't on top when she came in. Neither was Charlotte. They all had to earn their spot to be, the top. They were talked about, but they didn't get high quality top matches until a year or so into their run. So I hope they do the same thing with Jade. Make me forget all the stuff that happened and let me see their version of Jade. Then we'll go from there. Grove, how are you doing today? Thanks for joining me. I am glad that you are here. Let's see. What did I miss a question? There was another one. Chat went so fast. So everyone in here is shocked how big Randy Orton is what I'm taking. I keep seeing sides of that. It's like, yes, how did the Viper get so big? Do you think we can start calling him the Python? Do you think we can get that over? Because I mean, he's jacked. Like, I don't know. So that's my thoughts on CM Punk in 24. I wanted to go ahead and get that out, and it was a lot to unpack. What do you guys think? Is it crazy? Did it make your hat hurt? Because I think it's silly that it's like they're gonna hold him off like they did Bray. I think Cover Star is 90% locked in. I think On Disc is 100% locked in. And I think My Faction content for days. That ice cream bar t-shirt that we paid for DLC back in 2013. I think we get that as a My Faction card. I think we get the My Faction card of him with the mask on. The Straight Edge Society Punk. I think that they go ahead and give us all of that stuff, but it's all going to be locked behind My Faction, because 23 proved this year that they will go ahead and just put everything behind My Faction and not care at all what we think about it, which I think is really sad, but that's a story for another time. So coming up on, we got SmackDown coming up tomorrow night, which will be interesting to see. Does Punk show up there? Does Randy Orton show up there? Does, we get another debut? We're building up towards Rumble, and they're going to do a lot of stuff that's going to slow down because, of course, the holidays are coming up. So we'll get some pre-recorded shows and stuff. But I think it's going to be really fun to see how this storyline takes off. I think it'll be great for the game. Like I said, I think Punk will be in there. Other names, though, that will be DLC. I've been seeing around, it's like Lexus King. Lexus King, I'm a fan of Brian Pillman Jr. I like what he's doing. I love how he's turning this Lexus King character. I like it. I could see them holding him for DLC, which would be funny, because here is my other prediction, is that we get a loose cannon DLC pack. They added Steve Austin back to My Faction as Stunning Steve. I could see them making us pay for the Hollywood Blondes again. And then you throw Lexus King in there. You call it the Loose Cannon Pack. I think that you could totally do that. And here's the crazy prediction. So here it's the Loose Cannon Pack. Let's see how right I am. This will be so fun to look back on. 3 months from now when the game comes out, is the Loose Cannon Pack. This is my thoughts just based on 2K, what they've done. So they'll give us Brian Pillman Jr. They'll give us Brian Pillman the Loose Cannon. They'll give us Stunning Steve Austin, which was the My Faction card from last year. They might tweak him a little bit to make sure he's in the Hollywood Blondes attire. Then they'll go ahead and give us Nikki Cross, because why not pay for her again, since she didn't make it in 23 officially, unless you played my faction. So those are my 4 picks, and we need one more. What do you guys think in the comments? Does that sound like a crazy pack? It's almost so crazy that it sounds like it could be true. So I want to look back if they actually release a loose cannon DLC pack. I think that will be funny. So what do you guys think? Like, who's a 5th member? If you have my faction, at least let me use the wrestlers in universe. I agree. Like, the locked is a lie. Like, it's done on purpose. Like, it's locked because you locked it. That's it. That's the only reason it's locked. There's no super thing behind it. It's like, well, we couldn't get it in the game because... No, you add alternate attires all the time. The showcase mode is proof of it, that you get AJ Styles 15 if you unlock it. Spoiler from 3 months ago, you can unlock AJ 15 and showcase. And I have a video on the channel that shows you how to do it. However, if you unlock him, you still get the same entrance. They didn't do his 2015 entrance. It's just the regular AJ Styles entrance. It's just the 2015 soccer mom AJ Styles. So that's fine. So then that tells me that you can add an alternate attire to a current wrestler without changing the entrance or changing the moveset or anything. You just add it as an alternate attire. So for like, Scott Steiner was the one that just set me off, because not that I'm the hugest fan of Big Papa Pump, but it's the fact that you put his entrance in the game as Big Papa Pump, so it's there. You didn't add the music, but yet you could add Blair Davenport's new music to the game in a patch that no one asked for. So you could totally add, give him the generic NWO theme or a generic theme if you didn't get the rights to Holler If You Hear Me. I get that for licensing. But you've already put all of this in the game for him, and then you lock the model behind my faction because reasons. Explain that to me. Why is that okay when you put it in there and then you say, oh, well, we can't move it because? No, it's locked. And then you lock creators like What's the Status from putting it over because it's content damaged. I don't understand why they did it that way. So that's my thoughts on it. So I think a lot more stuff will be locked behind my faction for 23 or 24. I'm getting my years mixed up because all these games start to run together after a while. But my faction is going to go harder this year than it did last year, and I don't understand it, and they won't release numbers on it, and they won't tell me why, and I just want to know, just for my own knowledge, why is this a thing? Billy Gunn DLC. Was Billy Gunn in last game 2017? Ooh, yes he was, with the Road Dogg. 2017 was the last one. My favorite. Ooh, let's use the black and white cam. My favorite Billy Gunn is controversial. It's the one Billy Gunn. I love that entrance music. It's still on my playlist. That's how big of a nerd I am. Is that I still love that Billy Gunn entrance song. I mean, look at all he got. It's absolutely amazing. So yes, Billy Gunn, the one Billy Gunn in the 2016 Stone Cold Steve Austin showcase. That was gold for me. I loved it. Billy Gunn ran my universe over, and I wish that version at least would come back. But to answer your question on a brighter note, yes, 2017 was the last DX version of the one or just regular Billy Gunn. It's a PG show. We all know what his name is. So yes, Billy Gunn was in 2K17 with him and Road Dogg, and they actually had their entrance. So I thought that was really cool. What if she be the first rookie to main event WrestleMania? Well, now, let's see, there you go. You could have that as a storyline. But how would I don't know how the fans are going to receive her. Like, even like AJ, when he came back in 16, got a huge pop because everyone knew who he was, but he wasn't rocketed to the top either. So when Styles came in, he still had to build himself up. So I agree. I think it'll be interesting. I think there's so much they can do with her that, I mean, and she's just an incredible athlete. So if she can back up all the stuff they're talking about her doing, I think it will be absolutely awesome to see what they move with her. I don't think there's a wrong answer to how they move her. I mean, I'm not gonna say Triple H doesn't know what he's doing. I mean, look at what he's done this past year. WWE is fun again. Wrestling is fun again. He got me on Survivor Series. When I saw the end screen pop up, I was like, oh man, no, Punk, that's horrible. And you know, he got me to come out of my seat because you hear that music and I lost my mind because I was like, oh, he did it. He double swerved us. When's the last time we've had a double swerve in wrestling? It's like, is it Randy? Is it not Randy? Is it Randy? Is it not Randy? Oh, look, it is Randy. Okay, no, Punk. Oh, Punk's going to interfere. Oh, no, Punk's not. Oh, show over. No, Punk. Okay. Oh, look, Punk's here. That was a lot of emotions to go through in 8 minutes. And it's like, if you can pull that off, then I don't care what you book. I'll watch it because I know you know what you're doing. Just like I believe AJ will make her return at the Rumble, possibly win it, and go on to WrestleMania 40. My other prediction is that her husband winning the Rumble and they be main event WrestleMania. I want that mixed tag match because give me Punk and AJ versus Miz and Maurice. That'd be great. Give me them versus Karrion and Scarlett. Absolutely awesome. I am sold all in. Give me that mixed tag match. Also, give me mixed tag titles in WWE 2K24. That's my outside. That's something I want. I want mixed tag belts, and I want them to fix the intergender tag team matches so they're actually fun. Because all of mine end in disqualification, not because I'm trying, because the ref mechanics are horrible. But I think it would be cool. I did put out a poll. What if we do, because we don't know if CM Punk's on Raw or SmackDown. So what if, here's another crazy thing that could happen. That is totally not really a good idea, but it would be fun to see. What if we have Nick Aldis, and then we have Adam Pearce, and we have them go one-on-one in a CM Punk contract on a pole match? Think about the revenue we could get from this. The winner take all. And that's who gets the right to CM Punk, is they have to climb a pole for it. And we could go on and they could put on a 30-minute Broadway and the contract falls. And then CM Punk picks it up and he still decides where he goes because now he owns his contract. And so that match resolved nothing. But it resolved everything for me because I want to see Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce in the ring, in the WWE ring, one time. You can't tell me that they can't go for like 10 minutes. I mean, or put them in a tag match. There's something that you could do with them, and I think it would be really, really cool. But that's my thoughts on Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce. Also, bring Mickie James back. That's the other thing. Let her run the women's division over on SmackDown, or let her come back at the Rumble with her hardcore country gimmick. Now that Triple H is in charge, can we just run with the hardcore country girl? Because that's the best Mickie James. Not this, like, ooh la la Mickie that WWE had. But give me the TNA Impact. Give me that version of Mickie James. Put her in the Rumble. Let her win the belt one more time. Put her in the Hall of Fame. Or make her the manager of the women's division. So, like, Aldis needed help so that, you know, he runs the day-to-day operations of SmackDown. She runs the women's division. I think there could be a lot of magic there. I think a match would be money, would be Adam Pearce versus Nick Aldis for the GM run. Yes, I just want to see them together. That's just the fan in me. There's nothing to back that up other than I want to see Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce wrestle in WWE ring. because I feel like both of their careers are so historic, and that a lot of people don't realize how good of a wrestler Adam Pearce was, or how good of a wrestler Nick Aldis is. I mean, he was called the dealer for a reason, and he was fantastic. And what if finishing Cody's story? Cody has to finish a story. He never finished the story with Nick Aldis. So that could be something that we could work towards. Imagine is he's almost ready to win the Rumble and Nick Aldis cost him, and then all of a sudden we get a program with Aldis and Cody on the biggest stage of them all. That's something that I would sign up for. Like, Aldis is incredible. If you've never seen Nick Aldis wrestle, do yourself a favor, go to YouTube, or go like where you find NWA wrestling. They're actually still on YouTube. Type in Nick Aldis best matches, type in his best moments, then come back to this video or one of my other videos and comment down below what your initial thoughts are if you've never seen him wrestle, because he is the most underrated wrestler I have seen of this generation. Not enough good things can be said about how good Nick Aldis is. And same thing for Adam Pearce. Adam Pearce was so ahead of his time that if he was wrestling now, he'd be a top star. But that's just my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think about it. Okay, what is an electric chair match, and should I be scared? Like, that sounds scary, Mike. What are we doing? Let's see. What is my idea for a new match type for WWE 2K24? Well, I don't know, because at this point, I think they're just going to milk back the old match types. I think that we'll get a, I'd be shocked if we don't get special guest referee. They've worked on the ref mechanics the last 2 years in a row. So 22, it did take them 5 patches to get the blue shirt to work, and then it's broken again in 23 universe mode, but works in the main mode. And there's a workaround for the refs. I put a video out on the channel that will actually get your refs to work in universe mode if you want them to work the correct way. I think that as far as a new match type, I don't know what they could add that hasn't been a previous one. If Undertaker was the showcase star, then I could see us getting a Buried Alive or Inferno match. If Rock was in as the showcase star, I could see us giving us a Brahma Bull Rope match. Cody has been, brought back the cowbell at Survivor Series, which was cool. I don't know if the game mechanics now would actually hold a bull rope match, though. Like, I think that'd be a fun outside choice, is that we could get a bull rope match. But what I would like to see is intergender wrestling back to some capacity. That's the new match type that I would want to work. Not necessarily for the guys to beat up the girls or whatever. I understand why we do it the way we do it, and I'm cool with it. I get it. But for it to be accidental collision and it to cause a disqualification almost makes that match type unplayable for me. Because I can never win the Mixed Match tournament when you put it in 23 without getting disqualified at some point down the road. Not because of something dirty I'm doing, but because of something the computer's doing. So the computer is there, and the mechanics are really interesting. I almost did a video about it, because I couldn't get it to, I don't know what the topic of the video would be that would make it interesting. So I'll share it all with you here. Is that the mechanics in 23 is weird, that women's wrestlers, so for this example, we'll use Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley can powerbomb Cody Rhodes during a mixed tag match, and it's fine. She can use weapons, and it's fine. Go try it out. And everything's cool. But if Cody Rhodes cannot physically hit Rhea Ripley, the button's cut off. It won't let you press the button to actually do it. But yet, if you're Rhea Ripley and you take auto targeting off, you can target the guys, or any girl for this matter. Girls can target guys, but guys can't target girls. That's a design decision in the game that they've made it this way. So the technology's there that they know the male female superstar, which is cool. I'd like to see them elaborate on it and make it work though, and make it more fun. So if I was building a match type, I would build, what I would like to see is mixed tag matches work the way they're supposed to. You know, still have the guy tags in and the girl's automatically legal. That's fine. But Lita used to do her Karanas off the top rope to guys. Why can't I do that now? Or the Dudleys put women through tables. And why can't I do that now? That's the thing that drives me crazy, is if you're going to make it work, at least make it work like that. But so that's my thoughts on what match type I would want in WWE 2K24. It's simple. It's just fix the targeting and make it work, and make the mixed tag match work. I can't think of any new match though off the top of my head, and I'm sure after this I'll be like, oh duh. What? No, that's what we really want. What's a match that you guys want? Let's see. Superstar Billy Graham. Oh, that would work for the loose cannon pack. I wonder who has the rights to Billy Graham, because Billy Graham has never been in a game. He does get action figures, so Mattel owns part of his Legends contract. I'm really curious to see. And I don't know how old we can go with Legends that they would think that it matters. I did have the old philosophy that if they weren't old WCW guys, that they wouldn't put them in. But we did get Bruno Sammartino in, and they did put Zeus in, who's a fictional wrestler from a movie. So, and you know, we got Mr. T. So, I mean, they might be able to do a crossover. And since they do it that way, I'd be really curious if they would give us Superstar Billy Graham. I think it's a missed opportunity if we don't get Terry Funk in. And that brings me to another bold prediction, and we have to go here to this. So here's another bold prediction for WWE 2K24. ECW. I put out a tweet about this, and if you're not following me on Twitter, hey, come over and say hi if you use Twitter. If you don't use Twitter, cool. I don't like Twitter, but that's a story for another time. So here's the thing. What if we're getting the new Dudley Boys? Everyone is 90% sure that they're going to be in the game. There's no proof that they're going to be in the game other than they signed a Legends contract. But also Sandman signed a Legends contract, and he is now in Supercard. For the past couple years, when Supercard's new season launches in November, and there's been 4 or 5 stars that have been signed into Supercard that end up making it in the game for WWE 2K24. There's always a small crossover here and there. So Sandman is one that is in Supercard that could actually end up coming over to 24. So what if with the Dudley Boys, if they do make their return to the game and we get Sandman, what if we get an ECW pack? What if that's how we bring Terry Funk in? Because Terry Funk, I feel, should be in the game. He's only been in the game a couple times, and it was his Chainsaw Charlie. So what if we bring in the Dudley Boys, we bring in Sandman, we bring in Terry Funk, and one more ECW legend. Now, Tommy Dreamer is with Impact. However, the Dudley Boys are in Impact, but yet they signed a Legends deal. Sabu's insane, so I don't know where that goes. And RVD is up in the air because he's doing, you know, he does so much with so many other companies. He might have signed his likeness, he might not have. So it'll be interesting to see if we could get enough ECW guys. My fear, though, is that it's just like it is now, where we have with WCW, we have all the belts and we have a couple arenas, but we don't actually have a full WCW roster that we're able to make a full show in universe without downloading a whole bunch of content. So I would hope that we would get enough ECW guys to give us a resurgence of it, kind of like they did with SmackDown versus Raw 2008. So that's what my thoughts are on ECW. What do you guys think about it? I don't know, guys. I'm thinking I like this black and white camera. I think it adds a little something here. I think we're on to something. I don't think I got it figured out, but I think we're on to something. What do you guys think about it? Let's see. What do we got? Mike, you and your Legends roster excites me. The fact that you know all these old guys' names and it just hits me in a nostalgia pop because it's like I want all of them. Oh, Bam Bam though. Bam Bam could be in the ECW pack. He's been in past games. They could go ahead and add him back to the game and that makes sense. Give us the ECW version of Bam Bam. Okay, I do love this idea actually. That would solve a lot of problems. They need to do the alternative. Have a Legends game instead of 25, then 26 the following year. See, I like that. We did do the Legends WrestleMania, which I'm going back and trying to play. It turns out I need like one trophy left to platinum that game, and I like platinum in games, and I just missed it due to life. So. But that game's the controls are hard when you're playing the older games. The controls on Legends to WrestleMania are the one drawback for me, and that's just because I'm used to the WWE games. But yes, I agree. If you would do WWE in a 2-year cycle, that would be awesome. I'd much rather have that than a live service model that keeps flying around that's never going to happen. And I don't think that the Legends deal will happen just because it's a yearly release. It's treated as a sports title, just like that 2K treats basketball. It's like every year you're going to get micro improvements, and that's going to be all there is to it. There's not going to be a whole lot added on, because if they give you everything you want, why would you buy a brand new game every year? But for the health of the game, I agree. I think that if you went ahead and every 2 years we got a WWE game, because I mean, really, they're out of date already. We like to pretend that they're not because of community creations and being able to use alternate attires and change stuff. We can make it up to date, which is fun. But they're already so far out of date because WWE is ever changing. If you give us a WWE game, then you did a Legends game, then you did a WWE game. Now, what I could see them doing, which is crazy, is they could do a Legends game and test the live service with it, because Legends don't change. You add a base Legend set in, and then you add those mechanics in, and then you just add a few more Legends here and there. But I would love to see Legends of WrestleMania return. I think that's a very underrated game. It was frowned upon when it first came out because of the control scheme. But the fact that you could go ahead and add the 2K8 roster to it was cool. Like, that's something that's never been done since. Like, I would really like to see them do a proper Legends game and give us all the old arenas, all the old logos, all of that. I think that'd be really fun to play with. More NXT packs. So everyone that's on the NXT roster now, they haven't had any new ones jump in a while. Like, it's been a couple months. Lexus King was the last one to go ahead and be in there. And I think they're all in. I think NXT was very heavy last year. I think it's going to be more heavy this year because those are your newer faces. And we're in the point of wrestling now where it's like, okay, well, of course Seth's going to be in the game. It's not a spoiler that, Roman's going to be in it, and they're in it every year. So to keep giving us new faces, they can only bring in NXT guys or Legends that we haven't had before. And I'd like to see them do a nice split. Give us a few new NXT guys, but then give us a few new Legends that have never been in. They're like, we haven't had Junkyard Dog in a while. Bring Junkyard Dog back. Bring back, some of the older wrestlers that you've already have contracts with in the past, and bring back some that have never been in the game, like Superstar Billy Graham. I think that would be awesome. I think there's several things you could do with the Legends, and I think it's a missed opportunity. I really hope that they expand on it, but I could see most of the NXT roster making this year's game. I don't think that there's going to be any there'll always be glaring omissions though. Well, we've never got a perfect game where this guy debuted 6 months ago and he's still not in the game, but this guy debuted 2 months ago, like Punk will at this point, and he's in the game. So that logic of who's in, who's out is always crazy to me. I think we do get, you know, of course, Nia Jax will be back in the game. All of her stuff was already in. They just got to throw her model back in. But I think for the wrestlers they have to build from the ground up, I think we do get a lot of NXT stars. And I think we get a couple of new legends. I think it'll actually be a little surprising on the legends we get this year. Let's see. An ECW DLC pack. Sabu, Sandman, Spike Dudley, Taz, Mike Awesome. I agree. I think that would be a great DLC pack. What about, what we got? Dreamer, Spike. Who are we missing? We need like Stevie Richards and the entire Blue WO. That would be fun. Like, my outside, I want Viscera in the game. Even, you know, that's not correct ECW, but I would love to have Viscera in. I'd love to have Midian in, you know, bring back the Ministry of Darkness, give us that entire thing. I'd like to see Test in a game. We haven't had Test in years. I think that'd be cool as well. And what about, we always get Rikishi. How come we don't get Too Cool? I agree. Why do we not get Too Cool? Rocky Johnson. Do you think if they did a Rock showcase, do you think they do like something where we got Rocky Johnson in? I think that's the only place he fits, because only the hardcore fans know about the history of Rocky Johnson. Like, if you didn't watch it or you aren't hardcore and go back and watch older stuff, you don't know how good Rocky Johnson was. So, but I would love to see him do a Rock showcase or a Samoan bloodline showcase. Give us Alpha and Sika and Umaga and Yokozuna, and give us all of them and that great bloodline. Give us all that in a showcase where we could play, oh, well, here's one match from Yokozuna. Here's one match from Alpha and Sika. You know, it doesn't have to be just a wrestler that you go through their career. Why not it be a family bloodline? If Goldust ever returns, I could see him doing that with Cody. It's like, here's some Dusty matches, here's some Goldust matches, here's some Cody matches. There's so much stuff. That's what I want WWE to do with the games, is actually use all the stuff in the library that you own. There is so much stuff that they own that they could go ahead and put out that they just sit on, or give us parts of it or half of it, not all of it. And I don't understand why they would do that. Let's see. Hope it's better than WWE 2K23 DLC. I only got Bray Wyatt DLC. That's interesting. So you didn't care about any of the other DLC except, of course, Bray Wyatt. That's interesting. I didn't like the DLC offering. I thought it was whatever. I wasn't excited about it. I feel like I got the DLC personally. Let's go behind the curtain for a minute. Oh, if we're going behind the curtain, black and white camera. So we're going behind the curtain. If I wasn't making videos, if I wasn't helping all of you guys on the 23 journey, if I wasn't doing this, I wouldn't have bought the DLC. There was nothing in there that mattered to me. And I've also stated, I didn't buy that Bad Bunny pack because no one cared. Like, buying an extra Bad Bunny was not gonna help me make a better video. And the LWO logo t-shirt has been on community creation since the game launched. So I didn't see anything with the Bad Bunny DLC for me as a fan. As a fan of the wrestling games, I bought the DLC for you guys. So it was so that we could have every offering, so I could show you everything that happened in the game and we weren't missing a piece. But if I am a construction worker somewhere and I'm just picking up the wrestling game, I would have been happy with the base game. I probably would have been with you. I probably would have been like, oh, well, I do need to pick up Bray Wyatt. Here's $5 so I can have Bray Wyatt because I like him. But as far as buying the season pass and getting all this DLC, there was no one in there that was like, ooh, I wanted it. And used to, that wasn't the way it was. I think we're figuring something out with this black and white camera. I'm getting really excited about it. But back in the day, back in my day, DLC was for stars that just showed up. Like the 13 DLC of being, oh, Damian Sandow just, debuted, or the 2012 DLC of, oh, well, or was it? Yeah, it was 12. It was 12 had, okay, half the women's roster just came back. They just started doing women's wrestling again. So here's your Bella Twins. Here's this. I was excited. There was a time when I was excited to have the Bella Twins in a game. That's weird to say out loud. So there was a time when DLC mattered. There was, oh, I want to get this, the 16 edition that had Stone Cold, but if I pre-order, I get that ATB entrance, and that was awesome. You got, or the 13. You got to get that ATB entrance. You got to get that new Stone Cold t-shirt. Well, as a fan, here's my $2. Awesome. The Undertaker in 2014. That was the only way to get the American version of him. And okay, yeah, here, sure, take my money. But the last couple years, think about this, is 2K22's DLC, I didn't see anything in that I loved. It was a good name of rosters, but if you played games for a while, it's like, do I pay for this season pass in 22, or do I wait for the polished ones to be in 23? And what everybody, almost everybody, but Mr. T came over from the 22 DLC to the main disc roster of 23. So keeping with that logic is that everyone that was DLC for 23, with the exception of one or two, will be on the main disc roster for 24. So 25, I feel I have to get the season pass, because if I don't, then I can't show you guys everything that's going on and whether you should buy it. That, it's part of the gig. But as a fan, if I take a step back and I'm just that construction worker who is playing the game and wants to pick up the new grappling game, it would have to be a really big offering and something that I've never seen before to make me jump in and buy the season pass again, especially if I had a little bit of knowledge about games and it was, well, half of this stuff's going to come to my faction or half of it will be in next year's game. So I really think they need to step up the DLC. Will they or won't they? That's going to be the fun question, because as a fan, I would think they would. As a business, I don't know if they even know we exist. I think they see the bottom line numbers and they're like, okay, we'll just go with that, and this is what's hot and trendy, and that's what we'll go ahead and use for the DLC. But I really hope they give us something cool. I do think 24 is going to surprise us. I feel like they have to at this point, because they got all their merit back with 22 because we hadn't had a game in 2 years. 23 improved things, so they got the major fan base back that, oh, wrestling is back. So you got your casual gamers back. I feel like 24, they should focus on hardcore, because if they lose us as hardcore gamers not caring about the game, then they're taking a huge stab in their business that they don't realize that they're doing. But that's my thoughts on it. They should bring back Victoria, Molly Holly, Ivory, Alundra Blaze, Medusa. Yeah, give me Medusa. We always got Alundra Blaze. Give me the Medusa version of her. I would love for Victoria to be in the game. I would also, I didn't realize how much I missed using Ivory and Jacqueline until they weren't in the game anymore. I didn't think that I used them that much. And then when I started playing and I was filling out my universe, it was like, oh, I always had a spot for them. So it was really weird that they weren't in the game. What do I think they will do for Bray Wyatt? Now, so because of the whole Bray Wyatt thing, it happens so late in the game cycle. I think that 25 is the year that if they do anything with Bray Wyatt, it will be 2K25. Unfortunately, it parallels Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant happened so late in the development cycle that they had to wait the following year to actually do a tribute. What they did for him in the game that year was Ultimate Team cards. So that was scary. And because the way 2K does that is that they put all the Kobe stuff as Ultimate Team cards in that year's game, and then finally gave us the super, oh, here's every version of Kobe Bryant. Unfortunately, as weird as it is, I think the same thing happens because it's the same company, is that we will get a lot of my faction stuff for Bray Wyatt. We will get, you know, of course he'll be on the game in disc if he's there. It depends on his rights. Like I said before, it's, you know, they stopped making action figures and stuff for him, so there's time for it to wash out and everything work. If he makes it into the game, I think we just get the standard Bray Wyatt that was the DLC pack. I don't think they go above and beyond this year. I think they might do a tribute, kind of like WWF Attitude did in '99 with Owen Hart, is they said this game's in memorial of. They'll give us that. They might give us an extra video package, but all of his stuff has been in the game, so they don't have to add anything extra to it. But I think we just get the standard Bray Wyatt model. I think they might move over Alexa from my faction to the main roster. It depends on what Alexa version we get in 24, because she's in a weird time where she hadn't re-debuted yet, but she's getting closer. So it'll be after Rumble time, and then I think that version will be what we get. I think we get the Saudi version of Alexa Bliss in this year's game, because that's the last one they actually have footage for. I don't know if they will put the Fiend in 24. That was my thought. They might. The fans want it, but it was up. Bray didn't want to be the Fiend anymore. Like, that's the hard pill to swallow, is it wasn't WWE not bringing back the Fiend, it was Bray Wyatt not bringing back the Fiend. So I don't know how that still holds up in the air now. It'd be great as a nostalgia pop for fans to have every version ever, but when Bray didn't want to do it anymore, it kind of changed my opinion on it. Well, if he doesn't want to do it, then why should it be there? For the legacy of the game, yeah, I get it. So maybe, but what my thoughts is it's mainly my faction content. They give us our main guy, the DLC version of him, maybe the painted Rumble version, but that's probably going to be it. And because we're not going to get Harper and Rowan because they have contracts somewhere else. So, but then for 25, I could see them doing a showcase or a ladder tribute, and that for 25 is where you would get the Fiend, you would get the Eater of Worlds, you'd get the current, you know, all of that. I think 25 is the blowout for Bray Wyatt, but I think 24 is too late in the development cycle, so that they'll add a few bells and whistles so you get your Bray fix, and it's like, oh well, we remembered, here he is. Like, I could see the armband being in community or in the creation suite that you could put on. They did that for several years with Owen Hart. They did that with Eddie Guerrero. So I could see him go ahead and adding the armband in creation suite, but I don't think it's going to be over the top because they're so far late. We're in December basically. The game's 90% done. So now they're just polishing what we're going to get for 24. I know it sounds crazy because we don't get it till March, but they are polishing stages now, setting up the DLC packs and setting up my faction content. The showcase mode is done, the match types, everything. There's not going to be anything else crazy added in. The only thing added in crazy, like I said, they'll add CM Punk. CM Punk will definitely be in the game, and I've already beaten that horse, so we'll move on. But yeah, so I think Bray will be in 24 in capacity. We'll get a few things, but we're not going to get the overhaul that the fans want. We're going to have to wait till 25 for that. What is your favorite story in SmackDown versus Raw through 11? Okay, my favorite story. I loved the Edge and Christian story. I don't remember which one that was though. But where you got to play as Edge and Christian, and they got back together, then not back together, and they did all the crazy 5-second poses, and you got the old T-shirts from E and C. That was my favorite one. I don't remember which game that was though. All the Road to WrestleManias run together, so it's like I know I didn't care for Batista and Ray's tag story. That was the least interesting to me. I loved Edge and Christian's though, and I thought Jericho's was fun. So those were the two that stand out to me, but I don't remember exactly which game they were in. So that's my thoughts on the SmackDown versus Raw. Put the Fiend in 24. He might make it. I don't think he's going to make it. Bring back Jazz and Jackie and save. Wow, you got a list, Mike. Like, do you think we could put 700 characters in the roster? Do you think that would be a thing? Showdown of Wrestling. He is in Showdown of Wrestling, isn't he? Okay. I forget about that one. That one does not register to me for some reason. But those are actually really good games. If you could go pick them up, you would actually have a good time. The controls are horrible now because you're so used to 2K games. But those are actually far games. For a celebrity pack, Snoop Dogg. I don't think Snoop Dogg's going to be in the game. This is my only thought. So the only thing I have is that the coach, Jonathan Coachman, was not allowed in WWE games when he made his return in 18 or 19. He wasn't allowed in because he has an EA Sports contract because of Madden. Snoop Dogg shares this same contract, is that he has an EA Sports game because all of his stuff is in Madden. So I don't think that he can move over. The exception is that Snoop Dogg is in Call of Duty and he owns more of his character than Coach does for, royalty reasons. So Snoop Dogg can do other stuff. Like, I mean, he could probably show up in Fortnite. So I don't know. But I don't think that Snoop Dogg would be in. Because then that's my basis, is because he has an EA Sports contract. But where Coach isn't allowed anywhere else, Snoop Dogg was allowed in Call of Duty. So I might be completely wrong on that. So I don't know his contract, but that's my initial thought, is that because of that Madden contract that he won't move over to 2K. But we'll have to wait and see. I don't think him as a pre-order bonus is big as Bad Bunny though, which is crazy to say in this day and age. That I don't think Snoop Dogg would sell a lot of copies. I think he would be an afterthought. I think they would put more emphasis on other wrestlers or celebrities than they would Snoop Dogg. But time will tell. If he's in, then that would be cool. I'm fine with Snoop Dogg being in. As long as you give him that crazy elbow drop as his finisher that he dropped on The Miz. The elbow drop heard around the world. Make that his finisher, and then that's awesome. SmackDown vs. Raw 11, is that what it was? Okay. So that was the Edge and Christian story. Cool. Yeah, that was my favorite. I loved that one so much. Letting us use universe mode characters or my faction characters in universe would help. I agree. Absolutely. Give us Iron Sheik and Sergeant Slaughter. We haven't had Iron Sheik in a long time. Well, we got General Arnon and that version of him. Yeah, give us the actual Sheiky baby. That would be incredible. Let's see. What is... Bring back Teddy Long. I like Teddy Long. I think we should get Teddy Long for General Manager mode. I think that we should also get, of course, Nick Aldis and for General Manager mode this year. I'm really excited to see what they do with General Manager mode. I hope they don't copy paste it, and I hope they add more features to it. I played way too much of that mode. I'm their demographic for that. It's like, oh, I can just sit and play General Manager mode for the next couple hours. I'm in. I loved everything about it. There was some stuff I hope they changed to make it more fun. But for what they had, I really enjoyed it this year, which is interesting. I didn't enjoy 22, but 23 has a different feel to it. So I really hope that they change that. Have you played UFC 5? I have not. I have seen online reviews that it's not as good. I have UFC 4. I played that a while ago. It was okay. I didn't fall in love with it. It's not a bad game though. If you're into UFC, I would say pick up UFC 4. It's great. I don't know anything about 5 except the IGN reviews and stuff I watched to see what they were bringing, and it didn't impress me to go, oh, I need to go play UFC 5. And have you played it? Am I missing something? Is it actually better than 4? Because I enjoyed 4 for what it was. Let's see. They need to remaster Legends of Wrestling and bring back modern controls. I think so many games would benefit if you had modern controls, because I think that's a lot of things holding stuff back. Is we're so used to, you know, the muscle memory in your fingers. You get used to, oh, this button does this button does that, that when you go backwards, the control scheme's not even close to what it was. Going back and playing some of the older wrestling games where you have to do reversal with the bottom triggers is so funny to me now, because the last few WWE games have been, you know, the one button, but to do a light grapple, heavy grapple, reversal, my timing is completely off now. So I find that interesting. Oh, no, I just could, no offense, I understand. General Arnon is not Iron Sheik. I did not want to imply that. I was saying the last time he was in a game was when he was with General Arnon. I cannot remember what, oh, Colonel Mustafa. That's what it is. That's okay. Yeah, it was Colonel Mustafa, General Arnon. That's the last time I remember Sheik being in the game. We've not got the actual Sheik in the game. It's always been that version. We never got Evil Sergeant Slaughter, which I don't understand. And bring back Shield Boss Man. That's what I want. We always get the 90s Boss Man, but I want Shield Boss Man back. Give us the SWAT gear. Yeah, they're two different. General Arnon and him were the tag team. That, yeah, I got it. I misspoke. Okay. You are absolutely right. But yeah, it's Colonel Mustafa. He was Colonel Mustafa, and then General Arnon was his own dude. What his manager slash tag partner slash. I didn't watch WWE for back in the Arnon days. I was doing WCW back then, which is crazy. Let's see. So overall, I think that we got a lot to look forward to in WWE 2K24. I think there is a lot that they can actually do to improve on. I think that it's going to be a good game. As crazy as it sounds right now, is everything stacking up. The roster, they have enough stuff to work with. If they give us what they've been giving us the last couple years and trying to make sure we get, you know, 200 wrestlers on the roster, I think it's going to work out completely great this year. There's so many new faces to play with for the first time. Of course, the return of Punk. What are they going to do with Bray? What are they going to do on the modes? Like I said, one is general manager mode. I want them to fix general manager mode and make it more fun. I enjoyed it this year. I think it needs a lot of work. Give us create a show, give us, you know, belts and stuff that we can move around, and I think that it would be great. But what do you guys think? Sabu's yes, that's the Sheik I'm talking about. Sabu's uncle. I want that version. I want the, you know, and then Sheik, what took his, the original Sheik. Sheik is interesting to me because there was the original one from the 60s and the 70s, and then there was the new Sheik, who's now the current Sheik, who's the old Sheik, who might be the Sheik, who could be the Sheik. There was a lot of lineage there. Abdullah the Butcher, do you think he ever gets in? I'll tell you what, you want to get depressed for 20 minutes. Go watch Inside the Ring, Abdullah the Butcher. I feel so bad for that guy. Like, wow. It changed my perspective on Abdullah the Butcher completely after watching that Inside the Ring. So if you're, you know, you're already sad and you want to get sadder, watch that. If you're in a good mood, stay away from it and just enjoy Abdullah the Butcher for who he was that you remember. Because, wow, that was insane. Let's see. Yeah, they could put the Sheik from ECW in. I think we do get an ECW presence. So I think that will be the shock, is that no one sees coming. It's like, you got to at least put Paul Heyman in general manager mode. We got the old Eric Bischoff. Give us, you know, give us Cornette. Give us the Rock and Roll Express back. Put them back in the game. Give us the Midnight Express. Give us the fabulous Freebirds and the Von Erichs. Those are my Legends picks. That's who I would love to see. Well, we got the Von Erichs in 19 or 18. I would love to see them back in the game. And of course, yes, I agree, Mike. Bring back Dean Malenko. So overall, I'm excited for 24. I'm excited for WWE programming right now. I'm actually looking forward to watching the show because I don't know what's going to happen. And I now know that I can't believe the end screen anymore because you never know when it's actually going to end. That is absolutely crazy to me that we don't know when it's ending. So I'm really excited to see what they do with it. If they could give us back the Radicals, that would be cool. Shane Douglas might be fun. I want Psycho Sid back. You know, give us back Psycho Sid. I want more ECW and WCW guys. We got all of the belts. They give us a few arenas. Give us all. Give us the whole thing. Has Shane Douglas been in a game? I don't think he has. Give what was it? No. Wow. Yeah. You know what though? They probably give us the teacher version of him, not the actual awesome version of Shane Douglas. They probably give us that teacher version from back in the day. But any version we could change in community creations. So this is going to be interesting. We're entering December. So December is going to be a fun month, of course. We got a lot of things coming up on BeachBytes this month. I'm going to try to get out a few videos every week. That way you got something to watch. Of course, we will be live every Thursday this month, and it will be fun. I love hanging out with you guys. I never take for granted the fact that we just get to sit for a few hours and talk about wrestling. And that's just awesome for me. Wrestling is my therapy. That's a cheap plug. The new shirt is in the BeachBytes shop. Link in description. Also, we have a Discord. If you are into Discord, if you are a Discordian, is that the thing? Is that what we call them now? I don't know. But we have created a Discord. And for everyone that said it was easy to create a Discord, y'all were lying. Because that took like a day and a lot more time than that. And I'm still tweaking it. So if you are using Discord, in the pinned chat, you can click on that link, join the BeachBytes Discord. We're going to add more to it as we go. We just got some starter stuff going. I think that it will be a fun place going on just for talking about video games other than wrestling. And of course, plenty of wrestling stuff will be in there as well. We have new videos coming out this month. There will be a new video tomorrow that may or may not be my last video on Universe for WWE 2K23. So for y'all in here, that's what you are getting tomorrow. I hope you will check it out and watch it. It took a long time to make. I've been trying to make this video for like a month. So I hope that y'all like it. It actually came out, and we might do another one. I'm working on one. I don't know if it'll get released or not. Of course, we will have WWE 2K24 content for days because we are getting up to the stuff's actually getting ready to come out. We should get our first trailer at the Rumble next month. So we got a lot of speculating and a lot of things coming up. I appreciate everyone joining us today. Is there any final questions in the chat you would like answered before we get out of here? Really enjoyed hanging out with you guys today. Go through any final questions that y'all want answered. Let's see. It was great to see all of you. Thanks, Crow, for joining me. Thanks, Mike, our channel member. Thank you for the subscriptions and the super chats and all the fun things that come with a live stream. It helps us out. And we're building. What do you think of the new shelves? Like the shelves, I'm still working on them. What do we need on these shelves? Because it's like I want to make it a nice, comfy place that we can sit and talk. So this is this week's shelves. We'll see what next week has to offer for us. But of course, the beach beverage is now done, so I must bid you adieu. Thank you all for joining me today. I had a fantastic job. Please hit that like button on the way out. It would mean a lot to me. It really helps out the channel, and we will go ahead and see you on the next video. Remember, make life your beach. We'll see you on the next video.